Hello, I am Max, and right behind me is my 1994 Lexus LS400, and I have now owned this car for about 11 months and about 11,000 miles. So let's take a look and see what all has happened in the last 11,000 miles. Exterior-wise, the car is pretty much the same. The only thing I've actually really done the exterior of this car at all is getting new tires, because whenever I got it, the tires were absolutely garbage. But pretty much everything else is exactly as I got it. Nothing's really changed except for this and also that. Yeah, I have no antennas left. So this one got bent in a car wash and then it fell off on the highway. And that one I pulled off in a car wash while doing the foam brush, because this car does not have good paint, so therefore I don't care about using the foam brush in do-it-yourself car washes for washing this thing. And other than that, I think the rear bumper might have gotten a little worse with its paint coming off. I don't really know. I'd have to actually look at old footage to see. But really, everything else is exactly as I got it. Everything still seems to work fine, all the windows and the sunroof and everything. Although I don't know, I think that this is new, getting water inside this light here. Don't know when that started happening, but I don't remember that from when I got it. I think the other one's fine. Yeah, the other side's fine. I guess one thing that did kind of happen was, of course, last year when I was going to Ohio, I ran over a deer that was in the road and took out the bottom side of the car pretty well. So there's a piece of plastic missing from right under here, and that's really the only thing that came out of that, I'm pretty sure. And then heading on the inside, it's pretty much a similar story in here. Almost nothing has changed. Nothing's really fallen apart or anything yet, which is pretty cool. I wasn't quite sure how like the plastics and the dashboard and everything would hold up, but everything seems to be perfectly fine. There are a few little things that have happened though, and that I've noticed, but pretty much everything's still here. Everything seems to work fine, as well as it did. Of course, oh, I can't do that without the key in, apparently. The steering wheel doesn't go down still, because I haven't fixed that. The cruise control stopped working for a bit, as I mentioned in my last video. Started working again. I have no clue of why. I found out the reason for the traction control light coming on is because the brakes are completely worn out, because they are warped. The brake rotors have been warped since I got this car 11,000 miles ago, so the fact that it lasted 11,000 miles on warped rotors is not too shabby at all. Car phone stuff. But yeah, the trip button doesn't work still. Really, everything else is pretty much similar. So we'll go ahead and start it up. And, you know, that's one of the other problems with this car. As soon as I start it up, actually you can't even hear it. The power steering pump leaks, or the power steering system leaks somewhere, as it's refusing to show right now, because if for some reason it's not making noise, I have no clue why. It's been making noise pretty much all the time while I'm driving it, up until now, so whatever. And as you can tell, we're currently at 162,000, I don't know if you can see that, but 162,516 miles. I got this car with 151,750 miles, so I figured it was close enough to call it 11,000 miles, because I missed 10,000, of course. But gauge cluster still works perfectly fine. I haven't had any issues with anything burning out or getting dim or anything, which I've known is a problem for these cars. Climate control still works as good as it ever did. The AC still works fine. These screens still don't work. They never have since I got the car. Radio still works fine. Nothing really changed there. And also, I forgot to mention this little light over here somewhere is the bad brakes light, apparently. And if I start driving, the traction control light will come on, which is right here in the middle of the speedometer. And that's pretty much that. One thing I have noticed is that with the, here, I can probably demonstrate actually. With my FM radio receiver thingy, where I can play, or I can hook my phone up to it through Bluetooth, this thingy right here. Let's see. Well, first off, it doesn't work half the time in this power outlet for whatever reason. This power outlet does not supply power at all times. You have to like flip it around and sometimes spin in stuff to actually get it to work. But another problem I have is whenever I'm pulling it out, at least it has happened in here once, and it always happens on the rear one, which I always use because it's the only one that actually works. The only power outlet that actually works 100% of the time. This piece pulls out with this. So I don't know exactly why that is. Luckily this one is a lot better, but like this entire little inside part comes out with it half the time, and it's not very fun to try and get it back in there because A, that's a power outlet you're talking about. Transmission seems perfectly fine. I haven't any issues with it. It still shifts perfectly fine, and power mode and whatever works fine. Cup holders are still not broken, surprisingly. I'm using this for CD storage. Nothing really fancy in there. As I mentioned, the sunroof still has been working fine, and all the interior lights and everything and stuff like that. I also haven't had any lights burn out, which is kind of strange. I know this car has had about 3 or 4 brake lights as well as different tail lights burnt out since I got it, which I still haven't fixed. But it actually, I haven't noticed any more lights burning out at all, like any marker lights or turn signals or headlights or anything like that. So that's nice. I haven't had to deal with that. But really, I'm gonna shut it off. That will pretty much conclude it. I guess I can show off the back seat, even though literally nothing has changed back here. Besides, like I said, this thing right here. There we go. This, I can't pull it out with my fingers, but if I just take the FM receiver out of it without trying to push this back in, it'll pull this entire thing out for whatever reason. And yeah, nothing else has changed back here, except for if I remember right, yeah, it's this one that came off. Apparently it stays on there though without needing to be glued down, so I don't worry about it because I completely forgot about it, and I've been driving this car for thousands of miles since that has happened. And I would open the trunk, but there's nothing really in here to show. Actually, you know what? I'll open it anyways. I don't care. Let's give you more content. It's a trunk. It has a CD changer somewhere over there. Nothing exciting at all. And so, that will conclude this short little video on my LS400. If you'd like to see more stuff like this, comment and subscribe, and let me know what you think. And for now, I'm out of here. See ya. Also, you may or may not want to check out my Instagram for a post about what's probably to come in the next couple months here. Just saying.